Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and this is NUFC latest news. Just going to have a look what's being said about the club and who might be coming in, players-wise, we mean. But before we get to the show, I'm delighted to be joined by John. How are you, John?
Big up to you, Tony, mate. How are you doing? Hope you're well. And thanks for the chatters as well for joining in as well. Good afternoon to you, wherever you are. And let's hope you enjoy the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do enjoy what you see, please don't forget to smash the like. It does help the channel up the search. So follow Sean the Sheep there and smash those likes on both channels. We don't mind. Thank you very much, as it's being stream shared. Also, if you are brand new to the channels, then please smash the subscribe. Come be part of this great community got here. I'm 6 away from 1200. Also hit the bell notification. That tells you when I'm live. Have a pre-record any upcoming shows. If you want to become a member, it's 99p. Click the join button to do that. If you also want to make a donation, you can do that in the chat by hitting the $sign, using the super chat option. Any super chats are out first, and also all money reinvested back in the channel as well. Right, let's nip into some comments, and then we'll get on to the first subject. Hi, Tony says, Trolls. Good afternoon, Trolls. Hope you're well. Hope you're well too, Andrew, as well. Trolls says, I hope Howe understands that he can ask for players with specific mindset and type, but not a specific player. That's why we have a scouting team and Mitchell. Yeah, I agree with that. Andrew says, I'm on building some draws, so you may hear some big shout from here. Yeah. Rennie B says, hi, John. How are you?
Big up to you, Rennie.
And guest too. I'm Tony, by the way. Name's there, mate.
Big up, Rennie.
Vlogging the dead rat. Afternoon, guys. Good afternoon to you, mate. I hope you're well too. What's up with the Chelsea shirt? But I don't know. I've not seen it, so I haven't got a clue. But all I can say is, thank God we ain't got Castor no more, because the latest shirts that they've given for Everton, the badge fell off. So that just shows you how crap Castor really are. Better never stops. Better never started. Never mind, never stops. Mick says, big up Tony and John and all. Good afternoon to you, Mick. Hope you're well too, mate, as well. And Troll says hi to you as well, John.
Big up to you, Trolls, mate. Hope you're well, mate. And yeah, I mean, I haven't spoken to him for a long time, but big up to Trolls.
Right, okay. So the first thing I want to bring up is we have signed a player today. Yes, we have. Now I'm going to hopefully I've got his name pronounced right. If I haven't pronounced it right, I will apologise. But I think I have got the absolute pronunciation spot on here. So there he is, Miodrag Pivac. Now, Miodrag Pivac is Serbian, youngster, of course, 19 years of age. He played in the Serbia First League last year, which is obviously like their Premier League to, nowhere near the standard of our Premier League, probably. He's got some decent stats from last year. He started 22 out of 25 games, so he was a regular in the first team. He scored 1 goal, and he got 1 assist as well. Shots on top, it's his goal conversion was 50%, so, he got what he was out to get. Passes, his accurate passing per game was 88%, so not bad for a youngster. His long balls are 63%. He didn't take any crosses because he's centre-half. They don't really cross. His ball recoveries per game are 11.7, which is outstanding, let's be honest. Interceptions is 5.4 per game. His clearances are 2.5 per game, but he did have 12 errors that led to a shot. That was the only thing, though. Only to a shot his errors were. Again, he's young. He's going to have mistakes in him. Nobody's perfect. Successful dribbles were 93%. He won 65% of his aerial duels. Total duels won was 50%. And he got 2 yellow cards all season and no reds. So look, he's here for the under 21s, and he's one for the future. Let's be honest. He's right-footed centre back, but who knows how well he plays? And he may come into the first team quicker. Who knows? But we're not putting that pressure on him. It's like another Alex Murphy coming through the door. Alex Murphy came in and played a couple of games last season. We saw that tremendous tackle on Jayden Bogle, which was wrongly given as a penalty, but thankfully VAR overturned it after Tony Harrison went to the monitor, because it was a superb tackle from Murphy. I thought it was brilliant. So look, All in all, I'm pretty happy with that. It's getting youngsters into the club. That's what it's all about as well. Got to build the academy up. John, what's your thoughts on that signing?
To be honest with you, Tony, I got his profile, but I never watched this guy play, and I don't think anyone in this guy never watched this guy play as well. We don't watch Serbian football. That's the thing. So, but what I do know on the stats, like according to Jordi Boot Boys, like he's 19 years old, he's young, and what's he, 19 years of age, and he's played 22 games, and apparently he's been a mixture of Vidic and looks like a Nemanja Vidic or similar style of him as well. So if he's half as good in the years in the years to come, then he could be the new Nemanja Vidic. And Tora Vidic he's a class act. He can also play midfield as well. So 2 for the price of 1, and on the ball ability, he makes some perfect example, plays diagonal ball, or able to break the lines as well. 6'2", and I think he's gonna. This guy, I mean, I hope that he's gonna come through and get a Serbian cap. But he is a huge talent, according to Matic as well. And you know what? I mean, I like to see him play in the first team, to be honest, yeah. Because if you play 22 games for your in the Serbian league, then I think you should take a chance. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind getting him in and take over 36 because you got to give a young lad a chance, Tony. And you never know. I mean, you look at the players that's come in, you never heard of them in other teams. They come in like Ewan Ferguson, Bosch, hits it straight away. Yeah. But I think, really, I should give him a chance and just bring the guy in.
Yeah, I suppose it'll just be a case having a look, but who knows? He may be on the tour of Japan. He may go there and for a bit of experience. Because we saw a lot of young lads have been on the trip to Germany as well. We've won 3-1 this afternoon in a friendly, behind the closed doors friendly, with goals from Harvey Barnes, Jacob Murphy, and Alexander Isak.
Mm-hmm.
We've saw likes of Sanusi over there, and so there's been quite a few young lads taken over there. So look, yeah, I mean, I don't think we'd get him in the first team straight away, John, to be honest with you, but maybe it might be one of these where, if he's on the bench, say in a cup game or something, and we're comfortable, put him on and just give him some minutes, even give him 15, 20 minutes. If we're playing a game in a cup game and we're 3-0 up, put the lad on. He can't do any bad. Just give him a bit of experience. But yeah, I mean, look, we'll just have to wait and see how he develops, and I'm sure in the under 21s we'll soon find out. I'll just nip into some comments.
Yeah.
Brian says, even my big prediction is Eddie Howe won't be in the dugout against Southampton. We're going to come to Eddie Howe shortly. Hello, says Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine. All right.
She speaks on social media.
Yes. No manager is bigger than the club. Absolutely spot on, Mark. Tristan says, Tony, who wins, Eddie Howe or Ashworth? Because if Eddie doesn't like not having control of everything, maybe it's time he thinks of the club before himself. Yeah, I see what you mean by that, Tristan. I mean, look, we know he didn't get on with Ashworth. Now, look, we saw a lot of clickbait going around. Craig Hope, who a lot of people like Craig Hope. Now, I'm on the fence with Craig Hope at times. Sometimes I call him Craig Hopeless because, look, I call him Mr. Doom and Gloom because sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get out of Craig Hope. And look, apparently he's put out a load of crap saying that Eddie Howe isn't happy about James Bunce coming in, But look, at the end of the day, the job of the sporting director, if the owners want the sporting director to have a bit more input, then that's what it is at the end of the day. Eddie has to understand that. Unfortunately, you go with the times, I mean, we know Chelsea's got a sporting director, but they don't buy the players. The owner goes out and buys them and puts them in, and tells the manager, you've got to play these players. And that's why Chelsea are a mess, let's be honest. Chelsea's in for another player that we've been looking at, believe it or not, Andreas Pereira from Fulham. They're willing to pay 42 million. Now, hang on a minute. Where are you going to put all these players? You can only have a 25-man squad. Maybe they're going to have to redesign Stamford Bridge and build a bigger dugout because they might need one. They might need a 3-tier dugout at this rate. Yes, John?
So the reason's the reason's going after Andres Pereira because you know what's going to happen to Enzo Fernandez, and I can see the parallels to this one. I can see where that's going.
Oh, there's going to be a ban for him, isn't it? Because that was, let's be honest, that was disgraceful from the Argentinians to racist discrimination towards France. Absolutely disgusting. And the fact they videoed it and put it online, it's disgusting. And look, rightly so, they'll get the book thrown at them, and I hope they do, because I'm sorry, you can't be doing that. There's no room for racism whatsoever, and and let's hope the authorities come down hard on them. If that's what he meant, Tristan, and I agree with you. Lorraine says, what are people not getting? Sandro Tonali ban included no friendlies or matches behind closed doors. Lots of posts asking why he isn't playing in the friendlies. Because, yeah, you're absolutely right, Lorraine. He's not allowed to. He's banned, unfortunately, which I think is stupid when it's a friendly match. Why he can't play in a friendly? It's not a competitive game, but the rules are the rules. But he'll be back in August, and, I'm sure he's playing in, like, little five-a-side games on the training pitch, but that's all he can do. We need players now, not the future, says Scott. Tino says, I thought Murphy's tackle was a penalty against Sheffield United. Never a penalty, Tino. It was never a penalty. It was a class tackle, mate. From a 19-year-old kid to tackle like that, that was never a penalty. It was a hell of a tackle, and it was rightly overturned. So I don't agree with that one. I thought it was a tremendous tackle. If we want a marquee sign at right wing, Morgan Gibbs-White and Alanga isn't. Yeah, I see where you come from. Gibbs-White's not a right winger. Evening, Tony and John. Good evening, Jopadoni. If Keegan had written this all over Howe and England situation, it has Keegan written all over this Howe and England situation. We will get onto Eddie in a moment. Tally ho, John and Tony, dear boys. Cheers, hello, Gary. Hope you're well. Hope everyone is well. JK, afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. Yeah, absolutely fine. See, we're back in for Madueke today. Chelsea is willing to sell. Yeah, I mean, look, Madueke's not a bad player, I'll take him. Mick says, people saying the club should be more transparent and speak to the fans. Eddie comes out and speaks and half the fans go into meltdown. Yeah, absolutely. I can't believe Callum Wilson's crocked again. I know, Ronald. It's that's another talking point we're going to have as well. I mean, look, it's just getting ridiculous. Who do you think we'll sign as a striker since Callum Wilson's injured? Again, we'll have a chat about that shortly. Sorry, Mitchell, Tony, half asleep. No worries, Tristan. I think this weather's knocking everybody to sleep. Tony, apologies for getting your name wrong. No, it's fine, Gary. I knew exactly where you come from, mate. Don't you worry at all. Tristan says, no, Tony, I watched his interview. Eddie doesn't want control. Yeah, I mean, look, I know the club put a video out with Eddie Howe and it says all the right things, but then, as we know, videos can be edited. We are in dire need of a striker, says Trolls. Yeah. Do you think Borja would be a good backup striker if his wages and transfer fee was affordable?
No, not for me.
Borja,
not for me.
Not for me.
He's just a target man. I mean, look, it's done all right for Fulham, but he doesn't score enough goals. That's the thing. We need someone who's going to come in and make a difference at Isak as well. It's the thing around social media. I want 3 strikers in. 3 strikers, tops. Because if Callum gets injured, it leads to Isak. If Isak gets injured, we'll be bothered. We need a striker. And I've seen social media said, why do you need more than 2 strikers? They will still understand what I'm talking about. You need 3 strikers. I mean, people say they don't have 3 strikers at clubs as well. Well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to, because our injury record's not fantastic.
Yeah. Lorraine says Eddie wants to show he's a winner and he's passionate about bringing the trophy to Newcastle. He will get nowhere near the salary being an England boss. Well, we don't know what he's on at Newcastle, that's the thing. Ronald says, I don't believe that Mitchell would not converse with Howe with regards to transfers. Of course he will. Yeah, he will to an extent, but Eddie will have to accept the players. It won't be like, say, like if Eddie says, for instance, he wants Emile Smith-Rowe, Paul Mitchell might say, well, actually, I don't want him. We want this player because he's a lot better than what Smith-Rowe is. And, maybe that's where things might come to a head. Troll says, a manager's job is to evolve the squad and tell what type of players he needs. He's not a scout or a DOF. That's every manager. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the idea. That's the idea of a sporting director. A sporting director goes out and gets the players, goes out, gets the players that you want. But, obviously he's communicated with the manager. Eddie Howe might say, right, I need an attacking midfielder. Find me the best person I can get in that team who will not only score, but will create as well for me, who's a creator. And then Paul Mitchell will go out and do that job and say, right, and identify who scores goals, but who's also good at creating. And boom, that's when things like that happen. Not true trolls, as says Paul Stones, as Keegan wanted to say Modric, but the director wanted somebody else. Yeah, well, the thing about that is apparently this was to do with, I'm going to say the fat controller because I don't like mentioning the man's name because the man's name's just mud, okay? What it was, now, he actually come out and said this as well, so it is somewhere. If you have a look online, you'll find it. But he did say in an interview, the fat controller, he said, we were ready to sign Modric, and then Tottenham came in, and he says, because my mate was a director at Tottenham, Paul Kelmsley, he says, I then said to Paul, well, you go ahead and sign him because I don't want to step on your toes. So there you go. And that's what he said. Like the same when Pardew got us qualified for Europe, he tried to tell the Premier League we didn't want to be in Europe. And we had to go in Europe, That's the type of man he was, So, but we did see Keegan walk out when the likes of Cisco was walking and somebody who they watched on YouTube for 3 minutes and said, oh, let's get him in, we all remember that player, don't we, So, look, it is the way it is. Tiger says, Tony, what the F are we not placing bids for players? What's happening? Do you think Howe's going to leave? The board getting ready for that before getting players in? That's a very good question. Look, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. Mm-hmm. We'll speak about this man in question. There he is, Eddie Howe. Right, Eddie Howe. Right, okay, so I've seen snippets and I've seen these interviews and that. Okay, he comes across, yes, he's very committed to Newcastle United. We can see he is committed. But the one thing that I have not seen, the one thing that I haven't heard from Eddie Howe is that he's completely dismissed the England job. He was asked about the England job, and all he said was yes, but he's committed to Newcastle United. Now, he could have said in them interviews, I have no interest in the England job whatsoever. I am not going to be the next England manager. My job is Newcastle United. He could have said that, but he didn't say that. So the fact that he hasn't mentioned that he's not going to have the England job is a totally different thing. Now then, if the FA come knocking at the door and say to Yasser, what is the release clause of Eddie Howe? And they say it's £5 million, which has been bandied about. The FA might say, right, okay, we'll give you the £5 million release clause. Let us talk to Eddie. And the thing is, if that happens, if they hit the release clause, it would be like a player, like say Bruno when his release clause, if somebody had hit that, we couldn't stop them going to talk. That's the thing. Doesn't have to take the job, or he doesn't have to move to another club. But, so if Eddie Howe does the same, he can go and talk to England. Now then, the way I look at this is, right, until England get a manager in place, the speculation around Eddie Howe is going to be intense. Now, I watched Talk Sport yesterday. Alex Crook, Sam Matterface, they were both on. They want Eddie Howe as manager because they said he's the best manager for that job. Because not only they say is he ruthless, but the fact is, it's his attacking style, it's his intensity style, and he's not afraid to make changes when needed. Now, what I say to you out there is, if Eddie Howe was thrown in that dugout last Sunday against Spain, we would have been coming home with that European trophy. Because for starters, he wouldn't have played Kane. He wouldn't have played Foden. He would have had Gordon on the left to give some width. He would have played Watkins up front. So look, that we would have won that Euros last Friday. So what I'm saying is, because he hasn't completely ruled the England job out, in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking if the FA come calling, he could well take this job. And look, it is one of the biggest jobs in football, the England job. And what they're looking for is they're looking for a manager who can go on and win them a tournament now. That's what they want, because we've beat the 2 back-to-back Euro finals. We now need to make that next step and win that trophy and bring a trophy home. Because the squad we've got, we should have won that Euros. We should have won that Euros. You know, I was talking to a Spanish fan, and he said to me, and I quote, this is what he said to me. He turned around to me and he said, I'm scared for this final. I says, why are you scared? Because England will probably turn up and absolutely have a worldie and then we'll get blown away. And I said, well, we haven't blown anybody away all tournament, so I wouldn't worry about it. You know? But he thought that England were going to turn up and blow them away because we haven't played well all tournament, but there'll be that one game where we'll turn up. But we didn't turn up, and that is the problem. So if Eddie's goes for talks, it might be too hard for Eddie to turn down because this might be the only chance he gets of being England manager. And the other thing is, if he did turn the England job down and stayed at Newcastle, and then if say things weren't going right, and in 6 months' time he was out of a job at Newcastle United, would he then be looking back and regretting, thinking, I should have took that England job now. I should have gone for it. I shouldn't have let me heart rule. I should have gone for that England job. And is that what he's thinking as well? So, you know, he's probably got a lot going on in his head. So again, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, John, give me your thoughts. I mean, what do you think about this? Do you think I'm right what I've said? And you know, do you think Eddie should have come out and quashed the rumours altogether about England and then moved on about it, or you know, or do you think he's got the England of wanting to go?
Well, with 4 weeks coming to before the new season starts, I think he should have come out here and told us and said, "Look, I want to stay with Newcastle United. Yes, we've got new owners here, which I don't know. I need to have a bond with them and just go from there." But I think you're right. I mean, it's a shock to Eddie because I said earlier, Eddie's the man that's biggest backer, right? And these two guys come in and also rule the roost. Now, Eddie Howe is his own man, right? It's his own man. He wants to do things his own way, yeah? I mean, for me, Paul Mitchell, right? I mean, got in quality players when he was sport director with Leipzig, Spurs, Southampton, and Tottenham, right? I think if I've got his names right, and Salzburg, yeah? He's gotten players like Daddy Olmo, right? Heung-min Son, Sadio Mane, yeah, and other quality players since he's been sport director at different clubs, yeah. I think it's amazing to get Paul Mitchell here so you can get quality players. I think he's trying to turn our club into like a Borussia Dortmund, buy young players and then sell them on for profits as well, and buy them young. Look what he did at Sadio Mane, bought him for 10 mil, Southampton, sold him on for what, 36 or 37 mil to Liverpool, right? Heung-min Son only cost what? 13 mil, something like that. I could be wrong. That could be 20 mil. Cool. But they bought in quality players, Tony. Eddie Howe, as much as I love him, if I'm honest with you, I look at both sides here. I think if I was Eddie, I'll go with it. I'll just say, look, go with it. See how it goes, right? And take it from there. Yeah. But if he doesn't like this new thing, if he doesn't like the way they operate the club now, then I think Eddie will end up going to England, Tony. And if he doesn't make that move and we start poorly at Newcastle, he gets sacked, like you said, he's going to regret it for a long, long time. So for me, if England comes calling for him, right, he's got a decision to make. I'm not telling him to go to England. If he stays with us. If he goes, I wish him all the best. I do love Eddie and I want best for him. Hopefully he stay. But the bottom line is, right, like I said, 4 weeks for the new season. The England job's up to August 2nd, yeah? That'd be what, 2 weeks' time. He needs to make a decision now and tell us what he wants to do. Is he going to work or is it not? I said a comment from Davey Porter, so I'll pick up Davey, by the way. He is on thin ice. I don't want Eddie to be on thin ice, Tony. I really don't. I don't want to be on thin ice, yeah? I want to succeed. I want to win the thing, yeah? I want him to win a trophy with us, yeah? He said it, that he wants to win a trophy. But if the dynamics ain't right, then he ain't going to stay. And another thing I'm going to say before I come on, because I rabble it on, right? I don't want to spend too much time on this show, right? Rabble it on, right? He was asked a question about Mitchell and Bunce, yeah? And his response was, great appointments. Now, he didn't go too deep on them. He just said there's 2 words. Big up Julie Husband, by the way. I hope you are. Julie speaks sense, by the way. Follow Julie Husband on social media, please, people. Make sure you do. And the thing is, right, basically what he's saying is, right, I mean, look, because I lost it now, because I was rabbit on, didn't I? So I just think Ed's got to buy with it, get used to it. And if he doesn't like this new thing, then I think he'll probably end up going to England. I hope he doesn't, but I wish him well. This is a new thing now because Paul Mitchell gets in quality players to play for Newcastle United. But he must be thinking to himself, is Eddie their man? That is another thing. They might be thinking, if that's this attitude, well, we're going to tell him where to go, unfortunately. But I don't know what to say, but it's good. And I know social media are saying that media's talking crap. I mean, Liam Kennedy sums it up and saying that this is on, like Eddie Howe in the press conference, is 2 different body languages from him. I don't know if you take on it, Tony, but it's very, very telling.
There's something not right. And I mean, look, in the betting odds, he's the clear favourite as well, Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
And it's not just our it's non-Newcastle fans as well, like fans of other clubs around the UK, England. They're all like wanting Eddie Howe for manager. But there is some meltdown over our fans. Oh, he's going nowhere. You're not getting him. He's not going to England. And say, hang on a minute. Sit back, look at it and think, well, actually, wow. It's actually great to think that we have a manager who's actually been linked to the England international job. You know, when was the last time we had a manager linked to the England job? Because I don't remember.
I don't either, Tony. It's been a long.
I mean, I know Keegan was at City when he went to England, wasn't he? So, look. So the thing is, the fact that Eddie's being mentioned and being talked about everywhere as a possible manager for England, as Newcastle fans, we should actually feel quite proud of that and quite like, wow, and think, wow, that's great. We have actually got a manager who people are after, and that's what I keep saying. Just, think of it as a compliment to our club, how far our club's come, that actually Eddie Howe's now in the conversation for the top job in football, which it is. Let's be honest. England is a top job in football. And I'll tell you now, if Eddie Howe does go to England, you will see a different brand of England. But it's not only the fact that you will see a different brand for England, but you'll see Eddie does a lot of sports science, which we know he does. Eddie's good at improving players. So he'll get players in that team, but he'll improve them. He might even improve Jude Bellingham by that 10%, But he'll get them working and he'll get them playing to a system. Yes, okay, he won't have as much time as he would normally have in a club football. Yeah. But, they will know the style of football he plays anyway. And look, I think England under Eddie Howe would work very well. Now, I'm not saying Eddie Howe to go because, we want to see him at Newcastle and succeeding. But what we've got to look at is we got to think what's going on in Eddie's mind. We don't know. That's the thing. But he could be sitting there in Germany, or he may be back now because it was only for a few days we were there. So maybe we're coming back tomorrow or something. He might actually be sitting back thinking, do you know what? What do I do? Do I go for the England job or do I stay at Newcastle? If I go for the England job, I've got this chance now because if I say no this time, I might never get offered it again. And he might say that. And I said this a while back as well, a couple of weeks ago. When England were deep in the Euros, I think against Switzerland, and I said this. I said Eddie Howe might look at this team and think, wow, look at the players they've got now. Look at the players in the under-21s that are now coming through. the likes of Stones and that will be going out of the team. So the likes of Stones will be going out of the England team. And
is that you, Tony? Is that you in the background, Tony?
Yeah, something's set off in the back. It's gone off now. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so what I was trying to say was, so Eddie might be looking at this and thinking, well, look at the players that are coming through in the England team now. How can I turn this down? And it might be too much for him to turn down. And that's what I'm saying. And look, we'll just have to see how it plays out. If the FA come calling and he's given permission, there is nothing any of us can do about it, unfortunately. The only saving grace I would say is, if England do want him, I want this wrapped up rather quickly so we can get another manager in. Because the last thing you want is not having a manager and going into the season without a manager. But I reckon now, I mean, I've seen a lot of fans saying if Eddie goes, they reckon Poch will be the next man through the door. But that's not necessarily. They're all saying that because of Paul Mitchell. But again, we will have to wait and see what happens. John.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with everything you said there, Tony. I mean, about the England as well. If he's offered a job, I mean, no, I've got to be honest with you, no one turns down England. No one. I can't remember anyone turning down England. Yeah. And it's a big chance for them. It's a big chance for him to go in there and make a difference. I mean, I've seen a comment saying that if he goes in and don't win the World Cup, then it could be a bit of trouble. Might be Lorraine. I could be wrong. But the bottom line is, right, I mean, like I said, you've got to see what happens, yeah? But Eddie needs to come out ASAP and please tell me if you want the Newcastle job or you want to take the England job. I said a comment as well, Julie Hudson, or his best players will be gutted and Bruno will leave. I don't think he'll leave, Julie. He will not leave because at the end of the day, right, I mean, he loves Newcastle United. If he wanted to leave Newcastle, he would have gone by now. Let's be real. But it depends which manager comes in. It has to be an elite world-class manager coming into Newcastle United because you look at the players we've got, they are good players. It just needs someone to come in and make a fine-tuning. I'm talking about your mate Mancini as well, my mate as well, Simeone, Inzaghi, Poch, and Terzic as well, former Bishop Dortmund. Those are the sort of managers I want to see. I do not want to see Graham Potter. I do not want to see players going to come in and upset the apple cart as well. We need a quality world-class managers coming in, elite managers coming in, because that's what they want. But like you said, August 2nd, we'll find out. We'll find more of Eddie's intentions. But I just hope now he tells us, because like I said, like I say it again, if he turns down England, stays in Newcastle, doesn't start well, we've got 5-6 easy games coming up before we've got Man City. And if we don't get maximum points from the first 5 games, then for the first time, and I hate to say it, I was going to say it, call it for all it is, I think he could be in big trouble. And I don't want to say that for him, but Paul Mitchell probably wouldn't accept failure, and he'll probably bring in the sole man. I mean, like I said, Poch is free. There's other quality players to free as well. But, Tony, like I said, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Davey Porter says Eddie knows this season he's on thin ice, and as you know, he has his favourite Steffo, not ruthless, as we would have finished further up the league last season. I can see Poching at the tune in the near future.
Yeah, that's a good
Davey.
point. Very interesting. One thing I'll say on that one, right? I mean, look, you're talking about the word ruthless, right? Eddie needs to be ruthless, yeah? We need 3 strikers at a club. You look at other clubs, right? I'm sure they've got 3 strikers at a club, yeah? I get people to come up with us and say, why do you need 3 strikers, yeah? Because I tell you exactly why. Because Isak can be injury prone. Callum Wilson is definitely injury prone. It's there to see. It's well documented, yeah? We lose those 2 strikers for injury. Who we've got up front? We've got absolutely no one. Absolutely no one. You can't. Anthony Gordon will have to play there. Why? Because that would take away his strongest point, his strong focus, and that's playing on the wing. Yeah, for me, and I'm not going to lie, but at the end of the day, we've got to get another striker in. We've got to get a right side midfielder in. We've got to get another centre back, a right side centre back. Maybe it's a CDM, another CDM, because I don't want to see Sean Longstaff playing for Newcastle United. I don't want to see Miggy playing for Newcastle. I don't want to see Target there, yeah? We need to get the players who are not good enough, get them out, because I tell you now, right, there are some people on those earning money, loads of money a week, and happy to sit on the bench, picking up their wage, and they just don't want to move on. Alan Maximin, big up to you, man. He left because he knew the situation, he cared, and he went to Saudi. Now he's in Turkey. Mm-hmm. But some of these players now will have to move on. Otherwise, what will happen is you'll be wasting a squad space. Or, like you said, Tony, do not pick him for the 25.
Lorraine says, I think the England job's done just. That's why Eddie's not confirmed he's staying at NUFC. I mean, look, we don't know what's happening. I mean, we don't think anybody's got it. I mean, I listened to a Brighton fan on TalkSport yesterday that asked about Graham Potter. And the Brighton fan actually made a good point, which I didn't pick up. I didn't realise about until I heard him come out with it. But he said Graham Potter in some ways would be good for England, but he says he wouldn't in other ways. He says when he was at Brighton, they had a bad game, a really bad game. And Potter got a lot of criticism off the fans for it, and he didn't like it. He spat his dummy out and told the fans, if you don't want to watch the team, don't bother coming back to the stadium then. Now, is that the type of manager you want for England? No, that's not what you want for England. If you can't take criticism, then I'm sorry, he's not the man for England. And that Brighton fan was absolutely spot on.
I mean, if Graham Potter goes in, yes, he plays good football. We can see that. Pleased on the eye as well. But I don't want that attitude there. For me, he would not be my first choice for England, I'm telling you. No way. Absolutely no chance.
Tanji says, first Bruno, then it's Isak, then Gordon, now it's how the mainstream idiots just love doing this. Paul Mitchell hasn't even got started, really, and people are making assumptions. Yeah, absolutely.
Agree. Again, right, I think people need to sit back and just see what happens now, because you just know what's going to happen. I mean, again, a lot of guesswork, but we just say how it is.
Jock Redoni says, Eddie said he was unwavering, not sure he could do more to say dismiss the links to take the job. Thing is, though, Jock Redoni, he could have turned around and just said, I'm not interested in the England job. That's what he could have said. And the fact he hasn't said that just means, is he, and, is he right? If he does want the England job, why don't you just say it there and then? He had the opportunity to say it yesterday, and he hasn't said it, and that's why it's in the back of my mind that I still think there's a little nagging doubt there that if England come calling, I think he could be off. And if he is, do you know what? I wish him all the best, because for what he's done for us, he came in, we hadn't won, took us 14 games to get our first win against Burnley in December when Callum Wilson scored. In a season that every pundit, Carragher, Neville, Lineker, Shearer, Genius, Danny Murphy, they all had us going down. They're getting relegated because no team has never not won a game for the first 14 games and survived. But we did survive. But we didn't just survive by the skin of our teeth. We survived by about a country mile. So look, so he'd done a great job there, keeping us up. Then he got us to 4th place in the Champions League, and then he got us to 7th last season, considering we had injuries as well. And maybe at times, if we hadn't played Dubravka at times, and maybe give Karius a go, who knows? We might have finished a little bit up that league, playing Dubravka against Man United when Pope was fit. Should he have done that? I don't think he should have, because Dubravka was shocking that night, with the goals he conceded. So, yeah. We'll see what happens anyway. Scott says, let Howe go and Jan and Pep at the end of the season.
Pep, I can't see Pep coming in. No way. Nice though. You could dream.
Tristan says, I don't see Eddie thinking before asking Piff for their back, and they won't like being called out. Yeah, absolutely. Look, whatever happens, Mick says 21 said he for England. Look, if Eddie could do the job part-time, because they tried that once before, didn't they? And it didn't work though, did it? So, if he could have done it part-time and still been Newcastle manager, then yeah, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. But look, it's not the fact that I want him. It's not the fact that I want him for England. It's the fact is, I'm just trying to be realistic here, that the fact is, he has not come out and said that he's dismissing the England team altogether. the England job altogether. If he'd come out and said, I don't want the England job, then that's fine. It's put to bed. We know he's staying. But it's the fact he didn't say that. That's where you've got to say, that's where the nagging doubt remains. So, Tanji says, just because he hasn't ruled out doesn't suggest anything. We all know how coy he is and likes to play mind games with the media. Eddie knows the media are stirring things up. Yeah, that's true, Tanji. It could well be that as well. Julie says, Eddie's definitely interested. I think he wants to at least talk the FA. Do you know what? We'll have to wait and see. Right, okay, let's move away from Eddie Howe now and look at it. Well, now this is a rumour going around. This came out last night, this rumour. And the rumour suggests that we are looking at this player anyway. And to be honest with you, when this rumour came out, I was pretty shocked. I'm pretty surprised. And I thought, yeah, I could see that. I would definitely have this player. Here he is. It's Oscar Bobb of Manchester City, who can play right wing or as a striker. We know Oscar Bobb quite well because he scored the winner for Man City. Last season against us when we got beat 3-2 at home. A young player, very good player. He's contracted till 2029, so he's still got another 5 years on his contract. He come through the City ranks. 21-year-old Norwegian. So last season he started 2 out of 14 games. He scored 1 goal and he got an assist as well. His passing per game is 88%. So we know he's very good. 60% accuracy with crosses as well, which is absolutely terrific. No errors that led to shots or goals or penalties committed. And he didn't have a yellow card last season. Well, that's because he only started 2 games. Oscar Bobb, I don't think he's a bad player at all. Obviously, I know we're crying out for a star right winger. But I think, in all honesty, even if it's for squad depth as well, I think this could be a really good sign, especially if it's a loan deal as well. I saw Mark Goldbridge put one of his podcasts out. He reckons, obviously, once Man City go to court for these charges, he reckons this is going to harm their development and buying players. Or if players do come to Man City, they're going to have release clauses in their contracts that if Man City get stripped and relegated from the Premier League, that they are free to leave for a certain price. John, Oscar Bobb, what's your thoughts on this guy?
This guy is destined to go all the way. He's going to the very top. This guy, he's 5'7". He is so diminutive winger. Plays on the right hand side, left footed, skillful, takes on players, absolutely no fear whatsoever. And what I like about this guy, he tracks back as well. And yes, he only scored 1 goal. That was against us. Yeah, 14 appearances, 1 goal. And he's, like I said, he's destined to go all the way. And I like this player, I really do. Pep knows how to get a player, knows how to make the players that play be better. He can dribble, yeah, takes on players, not afraid to shoot, shoots from anywhere. And I'll tell you what, if we do get this guy, right, even on loan, I think he'd be definitely upgrade on Miguel Miron, yeah. The only concern is, would Man City loan us one of their players to a rival, a future rival? That's another thing. But I'll definitely be open for Oscar Bobb. I'll pay. If we're going to go for someone, I'll go for a permanent. Get him, and if that means after 4 years, see what I buy him back, cool, that's fine. But for me, I would not say no to this. Big up Early Doors, by the way. Do check him out on Insta as well. He's got a YouTube Early Doors as well. Do check his channel.
Yeah.
But Tony, I tell you what, mate, I'll be up for that move if he's available. And I'm sure Paul Mitchell loves young players, and he's on there.
Well, the reason we're looking at him, John, is because obviously they've got Doku and they've got Savio coming in as well. So where's Oscar Bobb going to fit in? That's the thing. So look, could he be the... I mean, look, the thing is, even if he comes in and doesn't start every game, but he's he doesn't have to start every game, but he comes in and he comes off the bench and helps us in games. I'm all for that, John. Because we may still be out there for a marquee signing right winger. It still wouldn't surprise me if Kubo comes through the door before we go to Japan. And then it takes off in Japan because we've got one of their star players. And as I said the other day, the shirt sales will be phenomenal over there because they will just take off. The shirt sales will go through the roof. And that will add more money to the club as well.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Japanese fans will want Kubo on the back.
Absolutely. But I've got some news to you as well. The Real Sociedad are also going to Japan as well. So I think that'd be fantastic news if you're a Sociedad fan as well. So, yeah. But for me, going back to Oscar, I think I'll take him because Pep will not stand in anyone's way if they want to be moved on and try and get first team football elsewhere. And that's the advantage as well. So, yeah, I say if he's available, we should be all over this guy. And he said about Kubo as well for Sociedad. I tell you what, we priced Isak away from Sociedad. We could do the same with Kubo if he was available.
Yeah, absolutely. Ricardo Vass, Tony Krackenshaw. I see
Ricardo.
Plans Plus looking at numbers. Thirsty asked you autograph. Wasn't me, mate. Not me. So I don't know who it is, but it wasn't me. I wasn't at any garden centre. Joel says, think it would be Poch. He worked twice for Mitchell in the Prem. Yeah, he has, hasn't he? At Southampton and Spurs. Maybe Wilson's injury is a good thing. Let's show how important a signing the forward is. I mean, look, let's talk Callum Wilson. I mean, yes, he's got another injury now. He's had surgery on his back, and he may not even make it for the first Premier League game of the season. Now, Eddie came out the other day and says he wants to keep Callum Wilson. Well, I'm sorry. I think it's time Callum Wilson was moved on. Look, he's been great for us. He's our second top scorer. He's been absolutely brilliant for us. But too many injuries for my liking. And the thing is with the likes of Callum Wilson, his time now is to move on to another club. Now, wherever he goes, I do not know. But I think it's time we looked at a different striker to bring in to play maybe second fiddle to Isak. But yeah, I think Wilson's time now is done. And I think, look, if we can get any money for Callum Wilson, you take it now, because if not, you're going to be playing for a player who's sitting on the sickbed most of the season. He missed a lot of games last year. His injuries were stopped. His season was stop-start. I called it when he played against Forest. I said, look, this was his second game. I said, I'd be surprised if he gets through this game and doesn't go out with an injury. And what happened? He went out with an injury. So, he lasted 2 games. His body must be made of jelly now. And look, everything's catching up on Wilson. All these injuries from over the years, the 2 ACLs he's had, they're all catching up now. Age catches up with you and your body catches up with you eventually. And not just in football, but you see it in other sports, You look at tennis, Andy Murray, all his injuries are caught up with him now. That's why he's not the player he used to be. And it's the same with Callum Wilson. All his injuries are catching up with him now. I think if there's a chance we sell him, if somebody comes in and says, look, we'll give you 15 million, I think you snap the hands off and say, thank you very much. Off you go, Callum, because that's 15 million quid for us. Thank you very much for what you've done. Enjoy the rest of your career. John, what's your thoughts?
Tony, again, you're absolutely right, by the way. I look at this record now in transfer market, right? The games he have missed, yeah? He's joined Newcastle. This is his 5th season coming up, unless he disappears, right? 4 years been in Newcastle, right? I'll go for the stats, right? And guess how many games he have missed? He has missed, I know what of a lie, 85 games he has missed. 85 games in 4 years. So effectively, Callum Wilson's played 2 seasons, and the 2 seasons out, yeah, he's missed. I'll go for the record quickly, right? I wouldn't spend all day with it. Hamstring strain, right? 4 games. Hamstring injury, once. Same again, 10 games. Same again, 3 days. Same again, 10. Calf injury, 20 games. I'll repeat, 20 games, right? Hamstring injury, 7. Coronavirus, 2 days. Hamstring injuries, that is 10 combined. Calf injury, 6. Chest injury, 10 games. And he's been ill. He missed 2 games. Tony, I tell you something now, right? Those stats of his injury record is absolutely poor. Yes, he can't help an injury, but 2 years worth of playing time in 4 years, that is absolutely shocking for that injury record, Tony. 85 games missed in 2 seasons. And I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah, it's just a shocking injury record. I mean, obviously, it'll never be worse than Marcelino's, the man who we never saw really. But yeah,
it's a worry, Tony. And they're all about getting Eddie Howe's helping getting Dominic Calvert-Lewin, right? I tell you now, I mean, people haven't got us to social media about a month ago, and I'll put this guy straight. He asked us, who do you want to get in instead then? I said, I do not want DCL coming in because he's no injury-prone record. And to spend 40 million on this guy, 1 year left on his contract, no thank you. And I said to him, be ambitious. Start thinking big. Be ambitious. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is not going to win me a title. He's not going to win me a trophy. You know what? I think he'd be better off being a fashion guru because I think he'd spend more time being a fashion guru than a footballer.
Yeah, absolutely. Wacky eyeglasses. Best piece of advice I can give to all Toon fans is not to stress and wait for the official club announcements or you will end up on medication before the season starts. I mean, yeah, look, this is a thing. We see these people out, ITKs who say, this player signing, that player signing. Look, we don't know who's coming through the door. But the only time we know they'll come through the door is when they stand there with the black and white shirt on. And we've seen it from ITKs who, there's one in particular, Sean Casey, and I'll mention him, Sean Casey, because I don't care. Look, how many times they say a certain player was turned and signed for Newcastle, never signed for us, went somewhere else. Why would you put yourself out in that position to then get yourself a whole load of backlash? Because when you write something down on social media, doesn't matter if you think straight away, I better delete that. Because by the time you delete that, somebody already screenshotted it somewhere along the line. So, and it'll always come back to haunt you. So, when we do transfer shows and that, it's not we're saying these players are signing, it's just players that we are linked to in the media. So we have a look at our strengths and our weaknesses and we see if they would be a good fit for Newcastle United. And if they do sign, happy days. If they don't sign, then okay, fair enough. We look at whoever next comes in. So, it's all about that. So that's what we do. But we do not go out our way to lead anybody up the garden path and never would do, because I'd be absolutely mortified if I did that.
Yes.
Yeah. Joel says, tell your employee you want insurances for your job isn't a smart move when you look at the same time to have control over things. That isn't the job. I mean, I haven't seen him asking for assurances, but, I suppose some of his comments have probably maybe been taken out of context, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I was going to comment to that. I was going to comment back to the injury as well. I mean, a lot of people, and I bet you on social media, not been doing this research about Callum Wilson's injury record, haven't they? But the stats I've gone through, that'd be worth posting that later and then see if people can come back at us.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll never get Oscar Bobb. Pep won't sell him. It's a loan deal, Trolls, not a buying option, just a loan deal. We'll see. I would love him to join us, says Julie. Oscar Bobb would be class, says Tristan. Yeah, absolutely. Maxi Russell never wanted to leave. Some people, yeah, absolutely, he didn't want to leave. Look, he done some great things. Do you remember when he went to the toy shop in the Metro Centre and just told people to spend whatever they wanted, and he paid the bill at the end of the day? That's the class of the guy. That's how classy that man actually is. So... Yeah.
I mean, I wish him all the best of Fenerbahce, by the way. Just got a tweet from Michael Sennett, right? I am going to say it, right? Because it seems to me they're not allowed to say anything on social media. He said, why do you just wait until the season starts before wetting the bed? Hang on. This is his words. Wetting the bed and see who we bring in. Michael, the transfer window is open, yeah? You can negotiate. You can talk about other teams who we're going to bring in, right? All we brought is 2 goalkeepers, right? A centre-back and a young lad, yeah? We still need to fill key positions before the season starts, yeah? So we want them in going into Japan, not waiting until the last minute, yeah? So at the end of the day, I'll ask you the question, Michael, if you're watching, my guy. Do you want to go into the new season with Miggy, 36, Wilson, if he's fit, I doubt he will, starting? Because I tell you what, it's a massive season for Eddie, if he's there, and a massive season in Newcastle, yeah? We need new faces in.
Troll says Kubo or Xavi Simons. I mean, look, Xavi Simons, I spoke about him the other day in a transfer show.
Great.
Yes, we are linked with him. So are Man United. But look, so are Bayern Munich and Leipzig. My preference, I think he will be. I think he'll go to a German club. But who knows? If he was to come to us, it would be a... But there again, it's an £80-odd million signing. But again, could be one of them. You could say to PSG, can we see him on loan with an option to buy? If you can do that, then who knows? Simons is not a bad player, but I can't see him coming to Newcastle. And I'm not saying he's not coming to Newcastle. All I'm saying is I can't see it happening. But you never know. You never know. Apparently, Ferguson turned down the England job twice as well. Maybe because we weren't that great then, though. Mixes Billy from Bladenling just asked about. Actually, it was a City site, City Media or somebody. Tony loves an opportunity. Wilson by paying his medical bills. Yeah, absolutely. Trolls. Cloud said, hello, lads. Would be concerned if we did not sign anyone by the end of next week since the Japan tour. Right, what I'm going to say to people now is, right, now I've seen a lot of this going around. We are not signing players. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. Look, right. Remember, this transfer window does not shut until September the 1st. There is a long way to go in this transfer window. So don't be too downbeat that we're not signing anybody. For all we know, things could be going on in the pipeline behind closed doors that we don't know about. The thing is, remember, Paul Mitchell was sporting director for RB clubs as well, like Leipzig. Now, he might use his contacts to try and get a couple of players from one of the RB clubs, whether it's Leipzig, Salzburg, wherever. So remember, he was part of that big network. So he'll use his contacts. So don't get too downbeat that we haven't got anybody through the door yet. Because you never know, something could happen. Remember, Harvey Barnes was next door to Eddie Howe in America, and Eddie Howe didn't even know he was there. So look, just try and stay calm and focused. I know it's hard. Remember, the Euros have just finished last week as well, so a lot of that. And then a lot of players from the Euros are now on holiday. So, it's going to be another couple of weeks, I think, before things start to pick up. But, all of a sudden, it could just be bang, we sign somebody, and you never know. Today, you could be worrying about it. Tomorrow, there could be a marquee right winger comes through the door and we'll be like, wow, didn't see that coming. Because nobody saw that coming. So all I say is don't stress yourself out over the transfer window because we've got a long way to go yet. We've got till September the 1st. So there's a long, long way to go yet. We met the buy Wilson. We're stuck when West Ham wanted him for 40 million they offered. Yeah, I can't see that happening now. How many games has Chiesa missed in 4 seasons? Is it more than Wilson? I'll have a look and I'll tell you.
It's damn close. It's damn close.
But I think he's been pretty much. Okay now, though. We know he had his. I'll just have a look and I'll tell you exactly. Right, let's have a look. Federico Chiesa, because again we're still being heavily linked with Chiesa.
Yeah.
As of yesterday. Right, so I'm looking here. Last season he played 33 games last season. He played 21 the season before. Played 14 the season before that in 21-22. COVID season he played 30 games. The season before that he played 3. I think that was when he had his his injury, one of his bad injuries. Let me just find his injury record, and I'll pull that up for you, and I'll tell you what he's missed. And we'll see if we can try and compare it to Callum Wilson's injury record.
I think it's more. I know for a fact. A couple of years ago, he missed 45. He missed the whole of the season. He missed a year out between January and October, and that's a cruciate ligament tear. I know that much.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Federico Chiesa. Right. So on the 20th of January this year till the 30th of January, so that was 10 days, he had an unknown injury. 6th of January to the 24th, to the 12th of January, he was out for 6 days with a knee problem. He had an unknown injury December the 20th to the 25th, which was for 5 days. He had a muscular problem, 5th of October to the 22nd of October, kept him over 17 days. He's had tendon irritation as well. But when he had that cruciate ligament in 21-22, he was out for 269 days with that. So yeah, he's had a lot, but lately a lot of them's just been muscular injuries, and so look, muscle fatigue. Muscle fatigue alone last season, 22 season, kept him out for 19 days in total over 2 separate periods. 22 days, 29 days, 29, 36, 41, 56. Actually, 56 days he had different injuries that he was missing in that 22-23 season. Last season, he missed 24, 29, 35, 45 days last season. So, yeah. So he's got a bad one as well. So yeah, who knows? Probably him and Wilson are on par with each other. Howe says there's no signs imminent. It's at the end of the window. No, it's not. It's just we're not going to. The thing is, with Howe saying that, he's not going to come out and mention who we're looking at, because that would be foolish to do that. The injury was rather bizarre. It certainly was, Ronald, wasn't it? In a normal job with that amount of sickness, you'd be supported so long, then your contract is terminated due to ill health. Yeah, David says DCL's fashion is worse than Gordon's. Yeah.
Can I just quickly, right? I mean, that Matthias Sully, we want to look for a right winger, right? This guy, Matthias Sully, played for Juventus. He's at Frosinone.
I like him,
last
John.
Season. He's a great player. He's a young player. 11 goals last season, 3 assists, and they just failed to stop up the season, Frosinone, and which is based. I've been to Frosinone before, which is an hour southeast of Rome, and he has chosen to go to Leicester City. So that's another target missed. I mean, look, we should have been all over this guy. Matthias Sully is going to Leicester, and I think it's 21 million quid.
Yeah.
So that's another player missed. We should have gone for him. We should have gone to Milenkovic. He's gone to Force for 12 million quid. Yeah, we're missing all these players, missing these targets. Do you know what I mean? But, we should be casting the net, Tony. Do you know what I mean? Getting all these players coming in. So hopefully, like I said, Paul will do his magic, and I hope we get quite a few players coming in the summer.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Mary says, afternoon, all, Tony, of course, and John and all our mods.
Big up,
do
Mary.
such a great job, and keep you both and the fans updated. Thank you. No problem, Mary. Thank you very much. Alan says, afternoon, Tony and John, plus the chat. Good afternoon, Alan Little. Right, I'm going to go. I mean, another story I saw the other day, and it come out from the New York Times, and and I was quite I didn't realise what I was reading, and I thought surely this can't be right. Obviously, they said Eddie Howe was going to study Vlachodimos over this period in Germany, and they said Newcastle will not rule out signing another goalkeeper. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, hang on. We got 4 keepers here. Well, actually, we've got 5 because Dubravka's still on the books at the moment. You got Pope, Vlachodimos, Dubravka, Ruddy, and
Gillespie.
obviously the cheerleader, Gillespie.
Yeah.
Now then, getting 10 grand a week for being a cheerleader. I want that job. Thank you very much. Please give me that job. Look, why are we thinking on another goalkeeper? This is what's got me. I don't know. I don't get this. I really don't get this. I can't see why we're going to bring another goalkeeper in. Maybe it's just the Americans getting a bit excited or just looking for a story to put out there. Although there's plenty of stories in America at the minute with Trump and Biden in there. But look, I mean, John, can you realistically see us signing another goalkeeper?
Now, let's be real, right? I mean, Pope's going to be number 1. Yeah, Dubravka could be on his way. And Gillespie, he's our cheerleader. I'm not going to lie. What does he actually do? Right? He must be a cheerleader. Yeah. And with the flags waving like that, so understand. Yeah. Roddy is just a mentor of a young keepers as well. And Vlachodimos, you don't know what's going to happen, don't you? Another goalkeeper, you've got 4 on the books already. I mean, Dubravka might not even leave yet. Do you know what I mean?
No.
But that could be a last-minute thing. I think Dubravka will be gone at the last minute. That is the thing. I mean, Celtic wanted him, but unfortunately, they've got Casper Schmeichel instead. So Dubravka is in limbo at the minute. But go back to Jules in the chat. Vlachodimos could be on number 2. And I think he'll be on number 2.
Southampton want Dubs, don't they? So, because Ipswich did want him, but he turned Ipswich down and they went and signed Woolwich instead from Burnley. So I think that's a good signing. So now they've signed Woolwich from Burnley. That means Trafford won't leave Burnley.
No. Not now, he won't. Not now.
Julie says Kiesa's the one that's always injured at Christmas. He's not injured at Christmas, Julie. He's Santa Claus. That's why. Because that's why he goes missing at Christmas. Because he's Father Christmas, Julie. You know, he's out there delivering the presents to all the kids. So
somewhere
to make up some injury just to make it, you know, because I can't say, well, he's off work because of being Santa Claus. He's out there delivering, you see. So they just say, oh, he's got a muscle injury.
Yeah.
He must be Santa Claus.
What the
angle says, some players really appreciate the fans and like give back. Good community shows good character. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Troll says, remember we have a bunch who will be sorted out why players get injured. Yeah, absolutely. That's a job at Bunce, and he'll look into all the medical teams and everything. Absolutely. ASM did it a few times with the kids. Yes, he did, George. I wouldn't sign Keys until Jan so you can get a few games out of him. Yeah, absolutely. Because it must be in his contract I have to go Christmas, you know, because I got to go present delivering around the world in me sleigh. Chiesa has been overrated and injury prone. No wonder Juventus are trying to get rid of him. Yeah, you're right. How many bookings has he had from the ref? If you never ask, you never know. Don't know. How can fix him, to be honest? Rabiot apparently now a free agent. Yeah, that would be a good sign. The only problem with Rabiot is, yes, he's a good player, but you've got to deal with his mother. And apparently his mother drives a very, very hard bargain. She is, even Man United pulled out of it because they said she drives a real hard bargain, his mother. So, you know, that's his agent. So apparently, if you're signing Rabiot, don't mess with his mother. That's all I'm saying. Because she won't take you to bingo, that's for sure. Lee says, don't need another injury-prone player. Better teams out there, yeah. Chiesa doesn't like playing at Christmas, says George. Rabiot on high wages, yes, he will be as well. And his mother will want a decent cut. What's happening to Mick? Is he staying or going? Your guess is as good as mine, but look, if we want to go any further, we have to sell players like Miggy, unfortunately. Rabiot has attitude problems as well. How many KMs did he cover per match on average.
We got Tyler.
You could have a treatment building just for Wilson, Willock, and Chiesa if you're saying them. I mean, Willock's looking all right. Look, I'm just going to quickly go into some questions here that I started. Gary says, Tony and John, what's the update on Gordon? As far as we know, he's not for sale at any price. He was offered to Liverpool, and they come with a couple of bids that were turned down. But yeah, he's not going anywhere, is he, John?
Definitely not. Not under my watch. Not under my watch at all whatsoever. And let me tell you something now, right? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, right? If Gordon does score, then for me, the only way it's going to make us happy is by Kvaratskhelia for Napoli. That is the only time Gordon can leave. If we get Kvaratskhelia, that's the only time.
Yep.
Other than that,
PSG, John.
That's Victor Osimhen. Osimhen's going to the PSG as well, isn't he?
Yeah, so's Kvaratskhelia as well, apparently.
Wow. I tell you what, Conte won't be happy then, will he? Just joined, and then they're both bugging off to PSG. Wow.
Well, that's what they said in the Euros. That's where he is going to. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But that's the rumour going around. But who knows? Paul says, so fans are laughable. We already signed 5 players and still loads of time left in the window, and they're already panicking. Exactly what I said, Paul, earlier on. You know, what I said was there's a long way to go in the transfer window, so we'll just wait and see. Alan says, afternoon, guys. Do you not think it may be difficult to get a player to come here while there's uncertainty over Eddie? And do you know what, Alan? That is a very good
point, Alan.
And I'll tell you why, Alan. Because, look, yes, it is going to be a bit of, players might look and think, oh, is the manager going to be there long term? Is he going to be there short term? Or is he going to be there? Is he going to be gone before the season even starts? And do you want to go into that uncertainty? And that is the thing, So, again, very good question, by the way, Alan. And yes, we will see how this one plays out. JK1987 says, I wonder who will come in as right centre-back. We've been linked with Chow and Todibo from Nice. Who would you like to come to centre-back? Look, I mean, the thing is, right, Todibo is a good centre-back, let's be honest. The only problem I see with this deal, right, and look, people might say I'm wrong to think of this with this deal because, look, I say he is a very good centre back. Would I have him over Malik Chow? Possibility, yes. 24-year-old Frenchman. The only sticking point and potential that I can't see us getting this deal is because Mr. Ratface is owner of Nice. Now, will Ratface sell to us? That is the thing. We know West Ham are interested. He might sell them to West Ham because he might like West Ham because he might say, well, they're nice people. But he might not like us because he might say, we're nasty people for asking for too much money for Dan Ashworth. Well, what a shame, Ratface. That's what happens when you buy somebody out of a contract that's still got 18 months to run. You pay the money, mate. You pay the money. So I can't. This is the only thing I've got. I mean, look, I would love to have Todibo, but Jean-Claude Todibo. But I just don't see this deal happening because I think Ratface will make it awkward for us. I mean, I might be wrong. People can correct me if I'm wrong. But I just think it could be an awful deal to get through because of Ratface. What about you, John?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Tony. I mean, I don't think United's going to sell any of their players to us because of what's going on. Because I honestly think, right, I mean, Jim Ratcliffe has got everything come against us as well. Obviously, he doesn't like us. The way we dealt our dealings with them, the way that Dan Ashworth took months and months and months to get him eventually. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they'd be in court if they didn't pay the money, blah, blah, blah. But going back to the Jean-Claude Todibo, I think he's booked to go to Juventus anyway for 33 million quid. That was a done deal. That's been agreed. And I think he ended up going to Juve if there's a chance of him leaving. He'll be off to Juventus. I think they can send to Juventus rather than us. And we're after him. I mean, Paul Mitchell apparently is talking to the club as well, because obviously he was at Monaco and watched them firsthand. But for me, Todibo, he's quick. He's a good defender. He's quick, but he has got, I'm going to be honest with you, that this guy, right, he's got disciplinary problems. That is the thing. I mean, I can remember he's been sent off after, 8 minutes for a crew tackle. In fact, When he was at back September 22, he was sent off in a match against Angers after 9 seconds. The fastest red card in League Under's history. He got sent off after 9 seconds for a foul. And that's no joke, Tony. Yeah?
No.
I mean, it was a poor tackle as well, by the way. Yes, he couldn't believe it, but 9 seconds? Bosh. Off he went. But he is a good defender. 100% assists in Nice. 1 goal to his name. He played for Barca 2 seasons, but obviously hardly played for Barca 4 appearances. Schalke on loan 8 appearances. Benfica hardly didn't play at all. Nice on loan 15 games, 1 goal, and then it's on a permanent deal. So 115, 2 goals for the French club. And and he is, if I can find it, 24 years of age as of now, 6'3".
Not necessarily the record, that, John, is it? Because just go back a few years ago when we played Norwich City at home. Who got sent off after 9 minutes? Oh, hang on, Kieran Clark, remember?
Yep. I'm sorry.
Got a red card after 9 minutes.
Cost us again. I mean, there's no way he's going to get that ball. No way. And he goes and does that. Cost us again.
Is Ryan Fraser deal being done yet, says Mac? I don't know. I'm not sure. I've not heard anything, have we? So.
Not at all. Southampton has to come back for this guy. So he's still with us, but he's got 1 year left on his contract, and I just hope he gets away. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we're going to have another season with this guy. This is another thing, right? I mean, you've got players on 1 year left on the contract. They should be playing on the grass. Ryan Fraser, Jamal Lewis, Isaac Hayden, right? They should be going away and play their football elsewhere and save the wage bill. But they want to sit on the bench one more year, pick up the wages, right? Again, I said about 20 minutes ago, be wasting a squad space. That is the thing. But do these players care now? Not really. They seem to put on money before their career. Simple as that. Because you know why? Because their agents tell them to sit tight, sit tight, sit tight.
Wacky says some outlets say you only have 100 million to spend and you could do with 4 players. So I can't see a marquee 50 to 60 million coming in. It wouldn't make sense. Thing is, though, if we've got these sponsors coming in as well, the money will go up even more. So it's all hearsay. Nobody knows what the actual transfer budget is. I'm saying that we could have a lot more to spend. Only people who know the finance department at the club absolutely as well.
Agreed.
I mean, look, to Devo, but apparently we're still in the conversation for Goncalo Inacio as well. Again, another player that I would take. There he is there on screen. A guy who's very versatile. And if you've got a versatile defender like Inacio, who apparently only has a £52 million release clause, so it's not a massive release clause. He's only 22 years of age. I know we've been linked with Antonio Silva as well. But Inacio can play right back, centre back, and left back. Although his preferred foot is left, but the fact that he can play right back as well. So look, he can play anywhere across the back line. In the Euros, they used him as a left back. But in the Portuguese league last season, he played a lot of left back and centre back. But he started 28 out of 32 games last season, got 1 goal, no assists. But for his defending, he was part of a team that kept 13 clean sheets. His ball recoveries was 4.7 per game. He had 1 error that led to a shot, but didn't have any that led to a goal and didn't give any penalties away either. Disciplinary record is okay-ish. I mean, he got 6 yellows, 1 second yellow, which led to a red, and 1 red card. He's made 11 appearances for Portugal, scored 2 goals for them. Aerial duels, he wins 53% of his aerial duels, 55% of his ground duels. So he's not the finished article. He's got a long way to go in the game. But again, it's another one we're still being linked to. Is Goncalo Inacio. So look, there's plenty out there we're being linked to, John. Who would you go for?
We definitely need a centre back, no matter what. But Inacio's a left side of centre back. Chow is a right side centre back. We need a right side of centre back. because Spotman can play on the left side. Q Gillespie, 12 seconds, 2,000 sal. I can remember that as well. Wow. Unbelievable. But
Good afternoon, Jam Stasher.
But you're right. Excuse me. But you're right. Just what can I say, man? What can I say? But I like Iheanacho. I think he'd be a cracking defender, him. But we're going to need a couple of defenders in the summer and next summer as well, because Fabian Schär, this could be his last season with us at Newcastle. Jamal Lascelles, again, I'm going to be honest with you, he needs to find another club as well at the end of this next season. So that's 2 defenders going to be down. That leaves us Botman and that leaves us Dan Burn. We do need 2 centre-backs, 100%, Tony. And you know what? We definitely need 2. Iheanacho will be good and Joe will be good as well. But financially, we haven't got a lot to play with. 100 million is not a lot. But you know what? We have to see what happens. But we need to get rid of the deadwood at the club, and then that enable us to spend some more money.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, I agree, John. What I'm looking for is, but yeah, I absolutely agree, John, with you. With that one, I mean, there's a player that I watched. Obviously, Toon Review, and
Kenny
Alex come up with it.
Yeah,
and Alex come up with a player which, obviously, we're not linked to this player at all, but as Alex says, because obviously Paul Mitchell's been at RB Leipzig, could be a good player to have. So this player is a 24-year-old Frenchman. He's called Mohamed Simikin, and he can play right back and centre back. So he's a right-footed centre back. 38 million euros is his price. He's got ground duels as his strengths, but he has no weaknesses. Last season, he started 23 out of 32 games, scored 2 goals, 3 assists. Part of a team that kept 4 clean sheets. His ball recoveries per game is 3.5. He committed 1 penalty, but didn't give any errors that led to a shot or a goal. He won 63% of aerial duels, 58% of ground duels, and 8 yellow cards all season, but no reds. Last season, he played predominantly right back, but he was all over the pitch, so he does play centre back as well. Because they play with the Gareth Southgate system, which is the back 3 at Leipzig. And look, again, not a bad player, and he's a right-sided centre-back as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about this guy, but if you look at the stats, his record there, if I just get us up the settings, if you don't mind. So my computers, I wouldn't say it's down in a minute, but 3 seasons, 84 games, 4 goals, 84 games played, 4 goals in that. And he's under 21, so he was in 21s. And like I said, I don't know much about this guy, but he seems really solid. He seems quick. He's good. And I think he'd be there. I think he's on 2 years left on his contract, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but that's what they normally do. They sign players on 5-year deals, and I think he's going to be the one to watch, Tony. But I don't know a lot about this guy. But he'd be the one to watch.
Yeah, absolutely, John.
But
whether he hasn't been linked to us at all, John. But it was just one that Alex was coming out with last night, and I thought, that looks he looks decent. So that's why I just thought I'd mention it, Right. Yeah. What's Wilson's latest injury? Could it be something blown out of proportion? You know how everything gets exaggerated. He's had surgery for a back problem, apparently, Wacky, and he's possibly not even going to make the Southampton game. So again, I'm afraid it's time's done it, Newcastle. Next is question, Tony John. Do you think Kelly was signed as a left back or a centre half? Both. I think he'll provide cover at left side centre back, and he'll provide cover at left back as well. So I think he's for both because he's first utility.
Yeah, I think he's signed for both. I mean, he could play centre back. He could also play left back as well. I mean, last time I watched him live, he plays a left back. I thought he was really, really good. Again, it's just injury record's not been great for Lloyd. But look, at the end of the day, he's there to cut us cover. If he plays, I'll back this guy. I think he's going to do all right. I think Bournemouth fans telling me they got high hopes of this guy. And if he stays away with injuries, then we'll have a fantastic left back there and centre back as well. So Eddie knows what he's going to used to do with him. I think he's going to be really, really a good acquisition as well, especially on the fee as well.
Yeah. What's Ignacio's strengths? I've never watched him. He's versatile across the back. He's still not the finished article, but he's left-footed. Yeah. But you see, my preference would be Ousmane Diomande. 20 years of age, right-footed centre-back. 3 years left on his contract. He started 25 out of 26 games. Team of the week 3 times. Ground jewels are his strengths. Can play right back and centre-back. He scored 2 goals. 1 assist last season. His accurate passing per game is 92%, so pretty much spot on. He was part of a team that kept 7 clean sheets. 1 error that led to a shot, but none to a goal, and didn't give any penalties away. He had 5 yellows, 1 second yellow to a red, and 1 red card as well. So look, not bad. 72% aerial duels are won, 64% ground duels won. So look, not a bad player all round. He may cost a little bit more, but you know what? He's made 8 appearances for Ivory Coast and scored 1 goal. So again, yeah, not a bad centre half. If I had preference between him or Ignazio, I would say go for Diomande all day, because he is class. And at 20 years of age, he's got a long way to go before he's peak as well. So I hope that's answered that question.
Yeah, 100%.
Mixes, I think you're saying there's a starter in front of Hall. I don't think so. I think Hall starts next season. Who's going to get number 3, John? Because Hall should be number 3, shouldn't he?
100%. I mean, that left back is his. Because I tell you what, he's going to be fantastic at left back. I think Lloyd Kelly, because of his height, because of his strength, for me, it'd be centre back.
Lee says, do you think Trips will go for the right price? Do you know what, Lee? I think he will. I think, all in honesty, if we do sell Kieran Trippier on, because we've seen Harrison Ashby's been in Germany as well. Look, if Livermento's going to be the starting right back, and we sell Trippier, Trippier may go, say, to Saudi Arabia, but he may go for one last big hurrah payday. So look, it wouldn't surprise me if we did sell Trippier, given his age now. But then it wouldn't surprise me if we kept Trippier. So who knows? It's a one to watch. Do you think Trippier will go, John?
It will not surprise me. I'm not going to lie, but I think there's a lot of things going on behind outside of football, which is not well documented, which I will not say on here. But the one thing I am going to say, Tony, is watch this space, because I don't know what's going on. I mean, a Saudi move could be on the cards, and but nobody knows. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up, Kieran Trippier. I mean, look, I love him to bits, man, but he has not been the same player for what we've seen last season. As well documented. The season before that is fantastic, but I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to come out here and just say how it is. Look at the games he's played. You're not allowed to say anything on social media. I'm sorry, but I'm going to call it out for what it is, yeah? This guy, right, he is a pioneer for Newcastle United. He's been fantastic. Let's talk about last season. He has not been good. For England, he's just an okay. But I don't know what's going on off the field. Nobody knows, but he's not been the same player. But I was just going to say, let me ask that one, the Kieran Trippier.
Davey Porter makes a good point here. Chaps, it's in the best interest to put the same players so we can move to the next level. Obviously, Bruno and Isak have been sold a project, so no big improvement this season. that will see them leave? I mean, that's a very good question. Yes, they were sold a project. Obviously, PSR issues are causing us massive problems. But look, it just, do you know what? It just wouldn't surprise me if we went out there and spent more money than people actually think we have. It wouldn't surprise me. And all I'll say is, look, let's judge the transfer window when it slams shut on the 1st of September. Then we can look at the transfer window and say, has it been a great window or not? And have we improved the team more? We're still not hearing about Sean Longstaff getting an extended deal. So maybe we're looking to move him on as well. He's only got a year left. If I was a club, I'll be moving him on now. Simple as. Because he's not the player to take us to the next level. Look, yes, he's good. He's got energy. But he's not the sort of player to take you to that next level, I'm afraid. I may be wrong, but that's what I'm saying. What about you, John?
100%. I mean, look, every year you got to improve year in, year out. Yeah. Eddie has got his favourites. We know that. Yeah. And let's be honest about it, right? I mean, you got to improve every year. I mean, look at the players we've got. We need to improve at year in, season out. Like that's just been said. I'm sorry, but you've got to get 2 strikers. You got to get 2 quality strikers, yeah, Isak and 2 more, right? And we just got to keep moving. We got to keep evolving. Simple as that. We got to get the best young players coming into the club. I can name about 3 or 4 players coming through the door, yeah, and make it really interesting, guys. And you as well, Tony. But we have got to improve. Sean Longstaff can't improve. Miga can't improve. Target is injured most of the time. Callum Wilson, injury prone, yeah. Kieran Trippier, we don't know what's going to happen to him. Do you know what I mean? So that's 5 players right there, yeah. Joe Willock, you don't know what's going to happen to Joe. We're going to give him 1 more season to see if he can come through an injury or not, yeah. Let's be real. But it's going to be a huge season for Newcastle United. It's going to be huge. We've got to win something, Tony. We've got to win something, yeah, for these players, because they ain't going to hang about long. They're not going to hang about long because Bruno wants to win a trophy. Isak wants to win a trophy. Gordon wants to win a trophy. We have got to go for it this season. There's no European football as well. Let's let it go. And hopefully we're going to go for it. When it comes to cup games, let's play our strongest side, please. Let's go to the final and see what happens.
Connor said Matthew Soulé going to Leicester for £21 million, reports are saying, John.
I said that as well about 20 minutes ago. I mean, to me, he would have been fantastic for Newcastle. I think he would have been, but he's better than Miggy. I'll watch him. And I tell you what he's got about him, he takes the players on. He's a confident player. He's got a left foot like a weapon, right? And I tell you what as well, you know what? I like him. I like his work rate. I like him. He's skillful. And I can't believe Juve is going to get rid of him. I think Thiago Motta would have just checked him out again, see how he fits in his Juve. But they made a decision. They are going to send him to Leicester for 21 mil. And I tell you what, he can surprise.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's quite. We can see a big shocker of a signing for us. Yeah, absolutely. You could see a big shocker of a signing.
Hope so.
Your clips, hi mate, hope you're well. Brentford need to sell Ivan Toney and said they will drop their price to 40 million. If we sold Wilson, would you take Ivan Toney?
Do you know what it is, Tony? Going to that question, a lot of people. Now, I'll let you answer first. I'll tell you my bit in a bit.
Look, Ivan Toney's he's done well in the Premier League, let's be honest. And, we've seen him in the Euros, how high school he was in that penalty shootout. Would I want him at Newcastle? I'm not so sure because, look, since he left us, he's done nothing. The way he seems to have attitude issues. It's like he has a point to prove against us every time he plays against us. Makes a thing of when he scores, he likes to make sure he celebrates in front of us. He's a bit arrogant. Would I want him at Newcastle? I'm not so sure. Good striker. I don't know, John. What about you?
For me, right? I mean, if it was when you come back and play second fiddle, that is the thing behind Isak. That is my concern. Probably not, but if you give us a chance, I'd take him 110% because for the money's being dropped, I think he's still got unfinished business at Newcastle, Ivan Toney. I think that I'd take him. Yes, I would for his goals. But I can't see Eddie touching him now. I cannot see Eddie having him. He's 28 years of age now, Toney. And I think we need to get younger strikers coming through. That is my only issue. There's players out there, not just in the UK, abroad as well. Just getting them in. Check out Serie A. They got some good strikers out there. Go out to Bundesliga. Again, good strikers out there. La Liga, the same. Let's be honest. I think there's players out there.
Yeah. Ricardo says, no, I'd keep Longstaff personally. Kids scored 8 last season. There's worse squad players, and we're already one doing in midfield. And Mixer I would keep Longy as well.
Not for me, Ricardo. I know if that's your player, cool, that is fine. But you know what? When Tonali comes back in, Tonali, Joelinton, and Bruno Guimaraes in the midfield three. Longstaff, number 36 and not get a look in. I know people say he gives you work rate. Yeah. Ask yourself the question, is he going to win me a trophy? No, you will not.
Julie and May Camp wouldn't take Tony back. Connor says, we've inquired about Oscar Bobb from City on loan with an option or obligation to buy with a 20% sell-on clause. Man City have just bought Savio.
Get him in. If that is true, get him in.
Far from complimentary about us since he left and bets on us to lose. Brentford will sell. We do get a percentage of that as well. Yeah, absolutely we do. Sign Mo Farah as a right wing. He won't get as tired as Miggy and probably get an equal or better end product as Miggy. Yeah, absolutely. Mo Farah, yeah, absolutely would. But yeah. Right, guys and girls, we're coming to the end of the show, but it's been a cracking show, by the way. Been going for an hour and 37 minutes, and time just flies when you're having fun. It's been great to have John on again as well. John, do you want to let people know where they can find you and what you've got coming up on your channel?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for showing us on, and it's been fantastic having us on again, Tony. Thank you very much indeed. Before I give my shout outs, I've just done a video of Eddie Howe, only about 6 minutes, about what has been said to the fan about yesterday in the press conference as well. Have my say on that as well. Yeah, 36. Yeah.
You're lucky number, John. Says Mick.
I'll get rid, man. But not for me. I like Sean. I'm sure he's a good guy, but for me, he needs to be moved on. I want to win trophies now. There's the channel there, John Sinclair TV. If you're new and you watch me for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that'd be absolutely fantastic if you do. I'll go do some clips in Japan because I'm going to Japan in 6 days' time. I'll be landing on next Saturday afternoon. And I'll do some clips. I'll do match day vlogs. There's 2 matches over there. I'm going to do the nightlife vlogs. I'm going to do the day trips as well. So please hit that subscribe button or you'll be missing out. For me, I'll be doing my show tomorrow. Tony will come along. Try and get Pete on tomorrow. I don't know what time it's going to be on. And we do that. We're going to talk about Eddie Howe game from a different angle as well. And that's the show I've got. I hope we do one in the week as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And Tony, thank you so much for having us on, mate.
Yeah, no problem, John. I'm not sure what I've got coming up yet, but there will be shows next week, so do keep an eye out for them. I'm sure there's going to be lots to talk about. Before the lads head off on their trip to Japan, which is going to be a fantastic trip for the club as well. You never know, we may have a signing or two in place before we go to the games in Japan. So, we'll see what happens on that one. But as I always say, if you have enjoyed today's show and you haven't yet, smash that like. If you're on, say, John's channel watching it, just pop over, smash the like. It does help the channel, just as Sean the Sheep's doing there. Saying smash the like, please. Thank you very much. Also, if you're brand new to my channel, please do hit the subscribe. It does help the channel grow. It is free to do so. And hitting the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows as well. So there we go. As I say, just keep an eye out what I've got coming up, and we'll go through some comments before we go off air. Canny show, lads. Have a great weekend. Cheers, Andrew. Wacky, great show, guys. Well done, Mod. Thank you very much. Ricardo, top show, lads. Great crack. Thank you very much, mate, as always. Lee says, fantastic show, Tony and John.
Thank
and
you,
everyone.
guys.
Having a great evening. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, everyone. Cheers, Lee. Thank you, mate. Who can you get that is happy to be on the bench? Beaver 36, says Mick.
Well, there's League Gunner, right? Course Kai Havertz 29. I'll call it on 36.
Lee Kelly says, have a great time in Japan, John.
Thank you very much indeed, Lee. I mean, it's going to be great. I'm just going to do me vlogs over there as well. I'll be posting them out for you probably on a daily basis. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and make sure you give it a thumbs up, share the content, please. Show it to your mates as well to have a fantastic time in Japan. It isn't a vlog, and the video is not to be missed. Thank
George,
you,
as top show as always, Tony. Cheers, George. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Julie says, great show. Cheers. Thank you very much, Julie. And Small Spaces says, Jam Stasher as well. Thank you very much.
Big up.
Yeah, so like I say, look, we don't know what's happening already, How. We know he wants to stay, but whether he stays or goes, who knows? I'm sure time will tell. Signings, time will tell when they come in. Signings coming in and players going out. Remember, we've got to do a lot of player trading as well, so that's still going to be a thing. As Darren Neals has always said, he always keeps mentioning player trading, which is going to be very important while we get our FFP up to where we want it. But remember, guys, the future is bright. The future is definitely black and white. And it's bye-bye from me.
We're the lads, and do the show tomorrow, guys. Join us. Have a good afternoon, guys. Enjoy your evening.
Away the lads and lasses.